We're live. Hi, everyone. Perfect. Okay, so let me just share my screen. I don't see my Zoom link here. Oh, there it is. Okay, share my screen. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Sorry, I'm at Matt's place, so this is kind of, the whole setup is weird. Okay, here we go. Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you guys about smart contracts and secret contracts and what's the difference between the two and what's so exciting about it. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so as you guys know, most of you probably knows what smart contracts are. So for the purposes of some of the folks who don't know, smart contracts are basically programs that allow us to execute any kind of command. So they're basically small programs on Ethereum network. And that created this new dimension kind of that adds to Bitcoin, which is just at the moment a monetary system. So there are several different problems with the Ethereum smart contracts. And one of the main problem is caused by the fact that it's on public ledger. And that causes a lot of problems with liquidity providers by, sharing too many informations that are on the public ledger. So today I'm going to introduce you guys to the Secret Network, which is a project. It's very own blockchain. And those of you who are familiar, Enigma used to be called Enigma as a project that is a contributor, but Secret Network is not just Enigma. And what they created is they basically created a new universe that combined programmability and privacy. And we'll see why there was a need for this. So Secret Network is a standalone blockchain that is private by default. It's permissionless, just like most of the decentralized projects, but it's private. And it's not just transactionally private. It's more than that. It's encrypted. It has encrypted inputs and outputs. So none of the nodes basically know any of the data that's happening on the network. So the original idea started from, what if you could have an Ethereum-like network where you can, build different smart contracts, but all transactions would be private. They would have all the, the privacy of Monero, of Zcash. And so this is where they started working on this project. And this has been going on for years. It's actually not as easy to, there's a lot of intricacies from a technical perspective of creating this type of platform. So this creates a new, like I said, it's a new universe because we're quite familiar with the transactional privacy, right? Like sending from user A to B privately, but we never have ever before in history been able to create entire programs that are private by default. And so most of you heard of the concept zero knowledge proof. And I think it's a quite confusing term, because zero knowledge proof doesn't actually mean that nobody knows, the data that is in there. Basically, there's a prover, and the prover proves that they know something about that data. So it's not actually zero knowledge proof. There's a node that knows, the verifier, the prover, that knows about the data. However, on secret network, the programmable privacy is much more interesting, because there's actually no single party that can see the data. So it's completely 100% private. You can't get the data because no one knows. And all the nodes have encrypted data by default. Those of you who are familiar with DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, and obviously the concept, and I want you to take this with a grain of salt, because none of the DAOs are fully decentralized or fully autonomous, but that's the ultimate aim. And once we have a large enough network, then perhaps it will become fully decentralized and autonomous. But secret network chosen the DAO governance model. So what does this mean? Well, they use Tendermint as a chain, which is a fascinating protocol, and it allows for on-chain governance. It's delegated proof of stake, and the users are governing. Basically, the inflation is governed by the community. And you can do a number of cool things. You can stake, you can fund different projects, you can, obviously you have to use gas in form of secret coins, much like on the Ethereum network, but there's this twist to it. So like I said before, Enigma used to be the token, ENG, and the community is supporting this project so much that they allowed the swapping of these old Enigma tokens to secret network. And how this happens is, some of those ENG tokens are burned, and then secret network tokens are minted, basically. So if you have that, you can swap it now. So let's dive into the interoperability and the fees. So this is actually the main thing, what makes this so incredible. So for example, you can wrap an Ether on chain into secret tokens. So one of the killer apps is that you can take an asset like ETH and lock it in a contract on this network, on the secret network, and you can issue secret ETH, and you can then burn the secret ETH back on chain. And by doing this, you not only save on gas fees, but you also do all these transactions privately. So this has a number of importance. For example, if you guys heard of inside trading or front running, that's one of the big problems that they have on the Ethereum network, and they cannot happen on secret network because it's private by default. It's also giving privacy for non-fungible tokens on NFTs. Now, right now, the main NFTs are the main basically the art industry is using NFTs the most. And when we're creating these high-end digital artworks, you would expect privacy, just like in the real world. You expect, if you're buying $1 million painting, you expect your identity to be private, and it's absolutely necessary. You cannot allow public identity. I mean, reveal the people's public identity. So this trend is what I like to call, we are going from KYC to RYC. So we're going from know your customer to respect your customer, respect, their privacy, their identity, and, the things like, for example, large organizations, the trades that they're doing, the strategy they are having. I mean, you cannot expect a large organization to have inside information on what their primary main competitor is about to do, because that will influence the negotiations, that will, influence the trades that are going to happen. So like I mentioned before, front running is, one of the things that privacy by default can eliminate. So at the moment, obviously, insider trading is illegal on traditional financial markets, but in blockchain world, we don't have any kind of architecture built in to prevent that. So we want to kind of prepare ourselves so we morally and, from a regulatory perspective, adjust to this. And, privacy is one of the things that would automatically allow us to do so. Another thing that you can do with secret network is staking financial derivatives. And so those of you who don't understand basic derivatives, how I like to call it is simply a financial bet. So once you're holding a specific asset, you can hedge against it, and that's what derivatives are. If we step back from the proof of stake and crypto network. So what are those derivatives, and why are they introduced in the world in the first place? Well, at the very beginning, they were just devised to protect a specific position over an underlying asset. So you can think of them as an insurance policy, and we can come back to this later. So the economics behind the staking is that consensus mechanism in relation to proof of stake networks basically translate into fairly predictable returns, right? So you know that no matter what happens, you have hedge against your positions. Also, in order to hedge, you do not need to hold the actual underlying asset to buy or sell, for example, an Ethereum put option. So this gives investors, a new vertical of investment. Okay, so Tendermint and Cosmos. So the Tendermint and Cosmos, basically, these are the main two. So Cosmos is the blockchain, and Tendermint is the platform you're building on. And it has a very, very complicated, technical structure. But to break it down, basically, it combines what's best in Ethereum and what's best in the Bitcoin blockchain. And it gives you an engine where you can build these private by default contracts. So it's super exciting, what's coming now. They can build different financial tools, private by default, NFTs, and we can virtually recreate the entire financial system on the blockchain, without worrying about, creating a platform for criminal activities like front running and such. So that's about it. I'm gonna take some questions. If you guys have any questions, I don't see the chat. No questions. Okay. So I'm not going to get into the Tendermint and Cosmos because, like I said, it's super complicated. But, if you want to check it out, it's very interesting. and lots is happening now in this space, and it all ties into the privacy hackathon that we are organizing as well. So, okay, well, if you don't have any questions, I guess, Matt?
No, that's all good. This was just maybe tell them this was like a quick, short one today. It's kind of at a weird time. So, yeah, we just
wanted to kind of finish because, the whole DeFi subject was so deep, and we had to split it up. It was just too much. We would be doing it forever. So we went through, covering what's DeFi, the use cases, the stable coins, and this kind of relates to it as well, because it's just to open your mind to all the possibilities that are there. And yeah, if you have any questions, you are welcome to reach out to us.
If they don't catch the stream because they're at work or something, post them in the comments.
Okay.
Tell them that.
We can post it in the okay. If you don't catch the stream, we can post it in the comments. So that's all good.
If you